Hi beautiful people, my name is Marissa and I haven't done a makeup tutorial since I was probably 13 or 14 years old, back when Hot Topic was the cool place to get your eyeliners. So let's get started. I have a couple other videos here on my channel that are more so Beachbody related. Well, they are Beachbody related. So I figure my channel is now just going to be kind of like myself, a wearer of many hats. By the way, if you don't know, I am a mother of 3 and my kids are in the room behind me watching Frozen. So if you hear them shrieking or singing, it's normal. That's how my Thursday is going. Didn't get the no glare on my lenses and I'm regretting it. Just a few quick notes. I feel everybody has their own techniques, their own styles, their own steps, process. So with that said, everybody does their makeup differently. I'm always up for constructive criticism or tips, tricks. Maybe you have an idea that I haven't personally heard of. And I think that is a beautiful thing, especially within the makeup community. I feel it's a lot of people encouraging other people, just lifting each other up and making us feel proud of what we've worked hard on our face. You know, everybody has their own style, techniques, process, what have you, of how they achieve certain looks with their makeup. So with that said, please be kind. Like if I do something and you're like, what the? Everybody does their different makeup differently, and that's okay. I feel that people are so harsh online and it's so unnecessary. If you're taking the time to watch this, I really appreciate it. I hope you're not watching it in vain or to try and pick things out. I do my makeup a certain way, and maybe if you have a tip or trick or something that I should try, that's cool. Suggest it, comment below, that's awesome, but be kind to each other, please. Especially when it comes to makeup. Like, we're all just trying to look cute and have a good time, okay? That's it. That's all it needs to be. All right, so one thing I think that everybody can agree on within the makeup community, tutorials, everything. Anytime you are doing your makeup, make sure you are doing so on a washed face. Use moisturizer. Clean face, awesome. I was thinking of doing some drastic look or something. Most people that have asked if I'm going to do a tutorial have basically been asking about my brows. They're kind of not there right now. I really had to go through and give them some TLC because they were looking rough. This is gonna be more of just a no makeup look. It's my basic go-to. We'll spend, I guess, a little bit of time talking about brows. Okay. I have to show this off. My mother-in-law had these canister things and she was like, hey, would you use these for anything? I thought you could maybe use them for your makeup. And I was like, damn it, Eileen, you're a genius. So here it is. I just have my basics, my quick go-tos, all that stuff right there. It's amazing. Moving on. I am going to go ahead and start with primer. I know everybody is kind of hit or miss on whether they do their primer first before their brows or whatever. I used to wait until after I did my brows before I applied my primer. However, I have found since I started using this is a poreless primer, so I'm like, get on my nose because that is where my pores are obnoxious. My 13-year-old sister told me my pores were huge, so that was cool. I've found since I started using Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade that it's just been a lot smoother with using primer first. It helps the application of the Dip Brow Pomade smooth itself out, and a little bit of this goes a long way. You did see me go ahead and comb through my little spiral spindle, whatever you want to call this. Just get those beauties all brushed out. Not your hair though, that was gross. For my brush, this is just an e.l.f. small angle brush, nothing crazy. Brow shapes. Everybody does have a brow shape, and that's why I said my brows are kind of really thin right now. I went through and just did work on them. I do think I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I shouldn't do this. The thing that I don't like is when, okay, I shouldn't even say that. The thing about brows is I feel, one,
the people who are looking to start working on their brows more gravitate more towards powders and pencils, which are fine if you're in a hurry. There are ways to make them look good and natural. I mean, if I'm doing a very dramatic look, I'll go for like the completely full out filled in brows, but I still want you to be able to see individual hairs. I'm doing a no makeup look, right? Okay, so I don't think it looks very great when people will tweeze the arch of their brows but have this just weird divot line here. My pomade is like, what are we doing? But where you'll have this curve, there we go. And then it'll be so thick. And so this is all curved in right here. Do you see what I'm saying? Does this make sense? No? Okay. Anyways, where we have this weird curve down here, and instead of it being an arch, just kind of a squiggle. I'm not sure if that makes sense. I hope the visualization helps a little bit. Get off. I do think one thing that you should look for is to make sure your brows have a shape. It's not going to probably be your natural shape unless you have beautiful, just arched brows. One thing that I do like about how I do have mine styled right now is there is a very subtle arch, so that if I'm wanting to, I can kind of fill that in and go for a straight across, no arch look, or I can really dramatize this and bring it up. And I always recommend the first time you're kind of questioning doing a big dramatic change to your brows, go to a brow specialist or someone. Another thing is to, when you take your brows too far in, see mine, you can kind of see the little ombre-ish part. You want your brows to start where your nose comes up. So if you took contour lines and you want up, your brow should start there, not back in here. They don't need to end right here. It's okay. We are reaching the day and age where big brows are acceptable. Brows are just, yes. Whereas back in the 90s, it was like, if they do not look like little sperm cells, then you better get to look at. We're making moves with natural beauty, okay? Now that it's been a million years, let's get started. Oh, I haven't done my makeup sitting down in so long. It was crazy. With my dip brow, see right there, that's too much. Too much. A little bit goes a very long way. I really just very gently frame out the bottom of my brow. And then I will take the extra product and again, very, very gently start to bring it towards the inner angle of my brow. Bam. I'll take the product that I put on my brow and that's already on my brush and go up. Confession time, this eyebrow does not grow hair like right up in that top little divot. So it's really annoying that I have to take time just trying to fill in this dead space. Okay. And then you don't ever want to tweeze like up on above your brow. Your brow looks natural when you have hairs there because it's an eyebrow. So I don't like to do a big bold line across the top. That I still have some product on my brush. I did just dab back in. What I will do is again, very, very thin line across the top, but then I take my brush and I fan up along the bottom. Take time to work with it, get used to the product. I've got some funkiness going on here. Burn. And I do like having a distinct little tail. And this is why I like having the primer, because when you fan out, it just works with you. We've got one brow done. Move over, same thing. You also don't really want to raise your brow because that totally changes the shape. Like when you're doing your makeup, you don't really want to sit and crease your forehead. You want to stay with the natural look. So when you're just sitting plain face, it looks good. Another thing that was once told to me that has stuck and been my saving grace is that your brows are sisters. They are not twins. Do not freak out if one brow has a different shape than the other one. Obviously, you want them to be somewhat similar, unless you are like Chris Evans or Ryan Reynolds. You probably do not have perfect bone structure and alignment with your face, and that's okay. By the way, today is Chris Evans' birthday. That's just information we all need to know. I haven't done my makeup in a hot minute. Boom. Where'd it go? So, this is really about it. I don't get too crazy. Like I said, I'm going for more of a natural look today. And if my camera starts moving, I'm so sorry. Bam. Brows. Yes. What I do is I keep super light pressure here and make it heavier there so you get a little bit more of that ombre look. I don't use several different products on my brows. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm just trying to get cutesified, and that's it. So next, we have our primer on, we have our brows. Next is foundation. Confession time. My foundation is super light. I always swear by my Fenty Beauty. I feel like this is really angled funny, sorry. The downside right now is that I am tanner than this shade, and I have been just mixing my really messy Wet n Wild dark concealer to just give it a little bit more of a tanned effect, I guess. That's a helpful tip if your foundation is looking a little pasty and you have some dark concealer. That's how you can kind of fix your shade. I will be needing to go get some more foundation. You can hear my children right now freaking out. Let It Go comes on and then the crazy comes out. 2, 3, 4, 5. I usually do use about 5 pumps of this. It depends how heavy of a coverage I want. I do have these patches on my puffy cheeks right here that really sometimes do not want to let my foundation hold. I'm gonna go ahead and just actually, while I'm talking about it, before I regret it, put a little bit more primer there. I don't know what it is, but it's just that spot on my face that's like, ooh, you thought you were gonna have flawless coverage. Let's fix that. This brush set, well, the bag and most of the brushes is from a Groupon thing. My mom got it for me, and then a lot of the other brushes are just the Eco Tools. You can get them at Walmart. So what I am doing is taking my foundation and my dark concealer. I just used this is an e.l.f. brush lid, or blush lid, just so that I don't have product on the back of my hand. I've made that mistake far too many times and it's really frustrating. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just start kind of dabbling on. See, look at that. It's beautiful. I love Fenty. If you have other foundations that you would recommend, by all means, leave them in the comments below. I've never actually talked like a YouTube person, so that's crazy, a YouTube person. But yeah, Fenty is my favorite. I do have dry and oily skin. I feel that it's kind of great for whenever, I mean, you know, your skin changes. Whether it's allergy season or it's your favorite time of the month. Real quick, this is just a Real Techniques beauty blender thing. Yes, I did have to get a new beauty blender. My other one looks like this, and I don't want any keyboard warriors being like, oh my god. Listen. So what was I saying? What was I saying? Oh my gosh, that's annoying. I do that all the time. Oh, our skin. See, I got it. Some days your skin might be looking a little bit oilier than the other. Sometimes it might feel like the Sahara on your face. And it's nice to have a foundation that you feel kind of works all of that without having to have different brands and hoarding everything. Can you hear my kids getting crazy? Aside from Fenty, I do actually love e.l.f., ELF, however you want to pronounce it. It's e.l.f. to me. Their foundation has really great coverage. There definitely is a bit of a perfume scent. So if you're someone who wants more of the all natural, granted it's not animal tested, which is awesome, but when I was putting it on, I was, whew, yeah. But yeah, that is definitely my backup if I had to make a quick run, because Fenty is only at Sephora, and if I go in there, the chances of me just going in and out and getting only one thing are slim to none. And it's nice just being able to run to the store and grab one. Like, I'm not one of those people that's too good for a drugstore or whatever. You did see I took my foundation into my neck. I also will blend it into my ears because you can see my ears a little bit on the red side. I do still have a little bit of redness. I do think a bit of this has to do with the Real Techniques sponge versus the actual Beauty Blender. I think this absorbs a bit more product. But you know, for $6 versus freaking $20, you get what you get. I guess the difference in cost is going to be how much more you're spending on the product itself. But I do think you need to, at some point, invest, not necessarily in the Beauty Blender. I'm not going to say a germaphobe, but I don't like thinking that I've been using a sponge on my face for an extended period of time because sponges are kind of gross if you can't throw them in the wash. I do switch them out semi-frequently, and Beauty Blenders and versus this, there's a price difference. Take your foundation up into your hairline. I promise you it's not going to be super noticeable, but it needs to be done. You don't want there to be a defined line. Maybe I didn't need to use 5 pumps because I still have a decent amount of product left over. Next, we're going to go ahead with concealer. I don't know why I just started developing like a British accent. This is just ELF, the 16-hour camo concealer. My children, oh my gosh. It's never peaceful for long. And then we are going to bake the face with some Fenty Beauty setting powder. I love this. I've tried using cheap brands like the Maybelline setting powder. I tried it. I can't. I don't care for it. What are they doing? I felt like my face was just glued. Go ahead and go in with my concealer. I am no longer doing the full-on Kim K contour, taking your liquid concealer, going along the cheekbones and everything. It's just a lot of steps. You can definitely go in with your concealers, and if you want more of a glam look and more defined look, absolutely. And I go and do the whole, my husband calls it my war paint. So that's absolutely an option. But for my no makeup, typically I'm doing this if I'm like trying to get out the door really fast. If I'm not doing a video, it only takes me 15 minutes or so. It's not a lot of time. I'm not trying to go all out and look like I'm ready for a night on the town if I'm just running some errands and trying to look presentable in public. So with that said, I'm only taking my concealer under my eyes. I will say this e.l.f. concealer is either your best friend or your worst enemy. It does set quickly. So if you are just starting out with trying to get used to using concealer in the first place, I should say, I would do one eye at a time. Make sure you blend, do a little bit goes a long way, and build up from there until you get comfortable with the product usage and how much you need for your makeup application. Perfect. Now I'm going to go in with my setting powder, and we are going to bake the face. To find your jawbones, it's not straight out. Just to fall with the natural lines of your face. You can try and do a more of a dramatic look. But again, that's not what I'm doing right now. If I'm wanting to do a bit of a subtle but still kind of semi-intense look, if I'm going to dinner with family or something, or just an event at all, then yeah, I'll go ahead and try and make things a little bit more dramatic, but that's not right now. I do like that I can kind of come back to this look later too if I want to run some errands and then come home and get ready and go out for drinks or something, as if I have a social life. That's cute. But this is a look that's kind of easy to build on top of. So while this is baking, I'm gonna go in. This is, like I said, no makeup look, but I do still want to highlight under the brow just a tiny bit. I feel like it adds a little pop. You can even do just a small little bit of a halo eye. I will do that sometimes. Just take a shade that's, let me finish my train of thought.
just a shade that's a little bit darker than your natural color. So I would probably go in, start with something like this, maybe go in on the crease a little bit, my outer crease like there. And then of course always highlight the inner crease. I had a friend tell me not too long ago that used to be like an abomination. I didn't know that. I just always thought it made your eyes pop. So yeah, I'm just gonna go in with my, I am gonna do a bit of a white shimmer. I love when people go, pow, pow, pow. Trying to Bob Ross on their brushes. You know, Bob Ross go. We're just going under the angle of your brow. If you were doing the straight brow, that could work. I would just start kind of halfway and work yourself out. This just creates a little bit of a pop, lifts things up. But anyways, is this not the cutest? My mom got this for me. It's just a little Ulta palette thing. The blushes and everything, I'm actually gonna use one of these blushes. So now we're gonna go on, fix up this vagueness. I just take a brush. I know there's a bit more of a science to this, but go through, get off the extra product. Now what I am going to do is go with my fan brush. This is what I use for my bronzer. And I'm using Too Faced. This is the chocolate Soleil thing. I don't know, it's so worn off on the back. It is made with cocoa powder and it smells like heaven. And I do go up. The expression I first heard was to make you have a 4-head, not a 5-head. And I used to get teased by my late friend Mikhail for having a big old forehead, so I've always been a little self-conscious about it, I'm not gonna lie. And don't worry, I'm gonna even that out too. Look. And then what I will do, because I have a little bit of a jowl, and sometimes it's not the cutest thing for me to look at, and that's okay. So I do kind of shade that out just a tiny bit. One thing that I think is funny is when people who maybe don't love makeup as much as others talk crap about makeup, and they're like, you're changing the way you look. I really don't think we need to be that dramatic about it's changing the way you look. You're kind of just playing with the lighting effects of your face is the way I think of it. To each their own. Whatever. I don't think it's that crazy. I love makeup. I think it's so fun. What I am going to do is I use my finger and I just go down along the sides of my nose. This is something that is kind of like playing with your face. And then I do have a bit of funky bottom of my nose, so I will go there. And then one of my favorite tricks has been take a tiny bit of bronzer under your lower lip. For those of us that are too broke for injections, it gives you the appearance of a fuller lower lip. And then I will just kind of blend that out, a tiny smidgen. You like that? Tiny smidgen. I don't really do blushes on days where I'm like trying to keep it cool, but it's all good. I like this color, so we're gonna use this with my blush. Bless Tati for explaining her technique for blush. I, for the longest time, was like heaving it on, and before I knew it, I was going back and using foundation to cover up where I felt I messed up, and it was just a whole lot of a mess. We're honestly almost done. I am going to highlight time setting spray. This is just e.l.f. on your brush. This is Ofra. I don't know. Just take a tiny smidgen on your cheekbones. I love the Chris Koffler video of when he but when he does his highlighter. Where do you stop? Where does it end? Highlighter brush. This is not the nicest way to use your highlighter brush. Let me just tell you that right now, but it works. I love this stuff. It really is beautiful. Then to the tip of your nose. I do go a little bit above my brow line. And then your Cupid's bow. And then your chin.
You can go under your jaws. I didn't. You can, but this has a bit more of a shimmer to it. So yeah. So I'm not trying to put that under there. What else? I think I might. A little wing. Oh, I've got my wings. Nothing crazy. I mean, it's got a pop to it, but that's okay. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex and Diamonds. The Better Than Sex, I will say, I feel flakes. So the Better Than Sex and Diamonds is my babe. I think they took care of that problem, whatever formula they changed. It's amazing. I've tried to master and I cannot. The flick that people do, I've tried and I can't. I am not typically a fan of a lot of mascara on the bottoms of your eyelids because I feel like it makes it look like little spider legs are coming out. So let's not do that. Oh, I was gonna wait to do mascara. Lesson learned, guys. I do wait to do my mascara until after I've used my setting spray. So here's hoping I don't spray it and then mess up my mascara. The last time I did that, I blinked and it just went everywhere. And then this is your time to kind of go ahead and tidy up any messes. For instance, my brow, my little splotch. And yeah, I think that's about it. I will too go, I have white eyeliner that if I'm feeling it, I'll put on the under part of my waterline. Unless I'm doing a bold look, I don't do black on my waterline anymore, black eyeliner. I feel like it just makes the eye look so much smaller. I also feel that more often than not, I don't care what brand of eyeliner you're using, black smudges so much. It really does. It starts looking tacky. Unless, like I said, you're doing some big dramatic look. Sorry, this is driving me nuts. If you're doing a darker shadow under your eyelid and you can kind of blend that out so that if your your eyeliner starts to smudge a tiny bit, it's not quite as noticeable. But I do think if you're doing just like a day-to-day, I would start. See, I need to stop saying that. That's not nice, and that's not what I'm trying to go for. I personally don't do the black eyeliner because I feel like it is just... So yeah, this is my finished look. If I don't go through with a lip, I'm actually gonna go ahead and use my Smashbox lip gloss. Obviously, this gives the effect of wearing makeup. This is a look that you can either go a nude lip, no lip, whatever you feel works best for the style you're trying to go with. This lip gloss is a little bit, I don't know if I've worn this. I like it. I'm not much of a red person. I always gravitate to more like the neutrals and the beige-ish colors. I really kind of dig it. Yep, I like it. I hope this wasn't too monotonous or boring to watch. Hopefully if I decide to do a look in the future, I'll have better commentary. Maybe some cute graphics, probably not. It is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you tried this look or if you have any questions about it, please feel free to comment. Oh, and then I have to say, of course, the like and subscribe. Who am I? This is fun. This is just my no makeup look. I feel like it's definitely obviously noticeable enough that I'm wearing makeup. But yeah, here we are. And well, this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did watch this, thank you so much. And maybe someday I will have glasses that do not have a glare on them. I really gotta pee though. So thanks for watching. Bye.